Hi, welcome everyone to Political Playtime. Off to the side there is John.
Yo.
Handcuffed to the computer. My name is Lou. And to my right is my great friend Tom. And you want to say hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here today to participate in the in this little podcast. Lou and I go back a long way, along with John. 45 years. If I can do the math properly, it's about 45 years we met back in high school. So here I am, and we'll talk about some of the old memories that we've had. Great memories, a lot of fun times back in the 80s and the 90s.
Experiencing the 80s. We didn't exist in the 80s, we lived.
We sure did.
For those of you that are expecting politics today, we're not going to have any.
Yeah, today was going to be fun, and for those too that are around our age can maybe look back and remember as well what you went through and the things you did. We did a lot of things that we're not going to talk about. Okay?
Yeah, that stays in the 80s.
It's like Vegas.
Right.
What happened in the 80s, some of it stays in the 80s.
Correct.
Or else I'm going to end up getting divorced.
It was an amazing time.
And you want to give a shout out to your mom and your family in Greece?
Absolutely. Mom, sister, my sister Effie, my niece, my nephew, and my aunt. I'd like to say hi to everyone in Greece, far from where I am right now. It was nice to see everybody back in December. Looking forward to visiting again sometime this year. So maybe you'll get a chance to watch this podcast on YouTube. So hi, everyone.
And hi, Kula and Efstasia, right?
Efstasia, yep.
Haven't seen you in so many years, and I hope you're all doing well and great memories, because we go to your family's house for Easter, Greek Easter, and we were always together.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. Inseparable.
But you know, times are different today for people, young people, right? We didn't worry that much about politics, if at all.
Nothing.
We didn't have all the TV networks and all the stuff we have now where you're bombarded with politics and this and that and this and that and all the drama. We just wanted to go out and have fun.
And that's what we did. The external influences that are in place today didn't exist back then.
No.
It was us, what we're going to wear to go out, and basically picking a spot, or more than one, to go to, and then it was off to the races. We just couldn't wait.
When we went out many times with suits.
Or jackets.
Or coats.
Just, like a sports slacks. Jacket or something, slacks, yep.
We had so many ties. We went to high-end places, right?
Right.
In Fort Lauderdale, for those that are wondering where. See, we grew up in South Florida, and when you say South Florida, people think of South Beach, right?
Yes.
South Beach back then, I think the theme song for South Beach would be "Oi, It's So Humid" by Two Live Jews. Do you remember that song?
Yep.
"Oi, It's So Humid"?
No.
By Two Live Jews. Yeah.
That was a band?
Yeah. They cut an album.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to watch it, go on YouTube, put in Two Live Jews, and you'll see it. Because back then, South Beach was mostly old people with walkers.
Yeah, all retirees, yeah.
It was retirees.
Yeah,
right.
Then the developers started buying up all the
we would go to Fort Lauderdale, and we saw celebrities, met celebrities. I don't know if you remember, we were at Wags. Remember Wags, the restaurant?
Yes.
They don't exist anymore. Wags doesn't exist.
They're gone.
So we were there one night, and Peter Falk was sitting there with two beautiful women. Colombo, yeah. We were together. We were there.
I'm trying to think. That does ring a bell.
You went and sat down, and I went up to him, and I said, "I hate to bother you, but my dad's a big fan," which my dad loved Colombo.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Here, sit down." So I sat down. I sat down next to this woman that was absolutely gorgeous, and he was sitting next to another one that was absolutely gorgeous as well. And he was super friendly. He's like, "So what do you do for a living? You live down here?" Super nice guy. Now I knew not to overextend my stay. I said, "Well, listen, it was very nice to meet you, and thank you so much." Super nice guy. met Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes, that was at Riverwatch.
Riverwatch.
Yeah, he was,
Riverwatch.
we bumped into him actually.
I found my Riverwatch card the other day.
Yeah. And listen, by the
Remember the
way,
cards I used to give you?
him and I had colds, but we're not contagious anymore.
Okay.
So I'm taking a Regula, whatever.
Rugula, or Regula.
Yeah, I was kind enough not to give you the Rona, but you gave me that damn cold.
Okay, well, there you go. You deserve it. I still haven't figured these out. I don't know if they taste good or if they're just god-awful. I haven't figured them out yet.
I like him. So yeah, Rodney Dangerfield at Riverwatch, that night I do remember because he was, all of a sudden he was right in front of us.
What's your favorite Rodney Dangerfield joke?
Favorite Rodney
think of
Dangerfield? I'm trying to think.
You know what my favorite is?
What?
He goes, I tell you, I get no respect. When I have sex with my wife, she screams out her own name.
That was from Back to School.
Back to school, yeah.
Back to School.
Yep.
Remember? That was a good. He also had another line where when he was born, the doctor hit him, slapped him, and the nurse got a few good shots in too.
Yeah, when he was born, the doctor told his parents, we did all we could do, but he pulled through anyway.
He survived anyway.
He was a character.
So here we are with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
At that same place, Riverwatch, many people would know this. You liked going down to the bottom pit. I liked sitting up at the top. Remember the top bar?
Yeah.
Susie Carr, which was the lead singer for the house band, is the lead singer for Will to Power. The band Will to Power.
Okay.
Baby, I Love Your Way.
Yeah.
Her big hit. That's Susie Carr.
The remake of that song.
Yeah, the remake. Of course, it was a remake.
Yeah.
Sat with her, talking to her. We didn't meet him, but David Copperfield at September's.
Yes.
He was snooty. Remember Snooty?
That was another nice place.
He was snooty.
September's was actually very nice. It was,
house band. That was fun.
it was pretty high end, and that's usually where we went. That was not because we thought we were special in any way. It was just that we enjoyed that type of environment, that crowd, you know.
Yeah. We were not looking for fights.
Right.
We were looking for girls, which is very normal when you're a young man.
Yeah, to socialize more than anything else, you know. It's just
We weren't
just
into
to have
drugs.
fun.
We weren't into drugs. I mean, I did my occasional, pot for medicinal reasons, But other than that, we didn't do drugs.
No.
There are a lot of things we did which I'm sure we don't remember because we didn't remember them after we did them. Sometimes, right? Wouldn't you?
It was an interesting time.
It was a really interesting time, and I feel for these kids today that don't have that. They just don't have that experience. Things change. I mean, let's face it, things change.
They've evolved into something, that doesn't. What we had back then really doesn't exist at that age level anymore. It's just.
No.
They'll never know what we had. For example, back in high school, we'd hop in the car and go to Castle Park, which was an amazing arcade. And
They had bumper boats. They had miniature golf.
They had miniature golf. They had all the arcade games in a very dark castle, damp environment, and we would make a night out of it. It would be there from sundown to basically until they closed. It was just a great.
Sometimes we'd go get our liter bottle of beer first.
It was a good place to pick up chicks too. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, well,
No, we didn't do any of that. We
we're there for
were fondling
the
one another
games.
in the car.
Yeah, 'cause-
Galaga Joust.
Yeah, I turned asteroids over 11 times. Remember that? I
Yeah.
had a bunch of people watching me. When I finished, I walked away. My eyes were like, I could barely see. I was so fixed on that, on that thing going up and down, shooting the. Anyway, but today, people. Oh, I can't meet anybody. Online dating. I'm signing up for this or that to try to meet someone over the computer. We didn't have problems meeting anybody.
No, but the thing is,
It's easy.
today they can't do what we did. There's nobody out there for them to meet in person.
They don't have the
on their fucking
communication
phone.
skills either. I think.
They don't have, they don't have the communication skills. They don't have the
don't have the
ability
social skills.
to socialize
The social skills,
properly,
absolutely.
and it's unfortunate because they also allow social media influencing to dictate their mental
life.
health.
Absolutely.
You know, so they allow someone someone that they don't even know says something derogatory about you, and next thing you know, you're ready to end your life over a statement that somebody made that you don't even know.
Listen, you know this very well. We also do a podcast on mental health, and we have a website on mental health where we have 170 countries go to our website. We've done a podcast on this where, and it's not even just kids, even adults will be bullied online by someone they've never met.
Yes.
Don't know who that person is. And they could end up with depression. They could end up, like you said, even committing suicide.
Stressed out.
I mean, it's crazy.
Back to picking up chicks. There's a place called Area Code 305. Remember that place?
Oh my God.
Yeah, of course I remember
Wait,
305.
you kidding? When that place shut down, we were in mourning.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that was the...
Oh, there was a vigil I went to. After it closed down, a bunch of people got together and we all went over there.
I think I cried.
We met there.
we were the members-only jacket brigade.
Oh, the members-only jackets, yeah.
And people are wearing, they had candles and shit. It was
I
just
think I cried when
ridiculous.
it shut down. So let me just explain what it is to people. So Area Code 305 was a big bar, had a dance floor, had a bar, and it had a lot of tables. Every seat, every table had the phone number.
Had a number.
There was a lamp.
It was a number. Yeah.
A number.
And even at the bar, the seats would have numbers, and
Right.
every spot had a phone.
A candle phone.
Yes.
The old candlestick phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say Tom and I are sitting there, and we see two attractive young ladies at the other end of the bar. Instead of walking over there and going, wait a minute, I might get rejected here or something. You can call first, talk to them. They would look at you and say, yeah, come on over, or whatever.
No, thank you.
Or, yeah, no thanks.
Whatever, yeah.
So, for you young people, you want to talk about meeting people? How easy was that?
That was a great place.
And it was a much easier way to be rejected over the phone than it is in person when you go up to them and and the rejection doesn't sting as
Right.
much when it's over the phone.
Yeah, because everybody knows they were there to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there was the pranks, too, where we did them.
There's
even
that.
to-
Oh, we did them too. Did one
We
on
did
there.
them too. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Who we did it to. So we would say, hey, we get a girl to say, hey, call this guy, tell him to come on over. And so there were pranks too. I mean, listen, so it's open for that. But for you young people today, think about it. You go to a place like that, how easy it is to meet people.
Yeah.
We met so many people, so many ladies.
It was easy.
And gentlemen and guys too, we became friends with,
It was easy to meet people.
without a computer or a phone.
It was almost as if that was the precursor to texting, someone, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that, that's what the kids, I mean, you can have three young kids, or young people, I should say, sitting together right next to each other, and instead of talking to each other, they're
They're on the
texting
phone.
each other.
Don't even get me started there.
The conversation has been taken away from socializing
Tom.
these young people, and it's now everything has to be text. Don't call me. I don't want to talk to you. Just text me.
We were at Denny's. This is a few years ago when I lived down farther south before I moved here. So my wife and I are sitting there, we're having dinner, just sitting there waiting. And this family comes in with a young boy and a young girl. The girl maybe, 13, 12, the boy was probably 10. And the mom and dad. So they sit in the booth. Okay, as soon as they sat down, they all went like this with their phones. We're watching them.
Yes.
They did not speak to one another.
No.
They're out to dinner.
Yeah.
They did not speak to one another. The waitress shows up. I told this story on the other podcast. The waitress shows up. The parents put their phones down and they order. Now she's waiting for the kids. The kids, oblivious to her waiting, didn't even care. Kept texting. And she's standing there, and we know the waitress. And she just looked away like, you little bastards. I'm standing here like an idiot, and you won't get off your phones to order.
She should have walked away from them.
So that's what she should have done,
Yeah.
but you know how it is, right? Then the parents would go to the manager, oh, you're waitress this or you're waitress that, because my kids don't do any wrong. We were disgusted by watching it. And then after they ordered, all four of them went back to their cell phones. Not even mom and dad were talking. Mom and dad weren't even talking to each other, to one another. And they just sat there texting.
So it's more important to be on your phone, texting people that are not there in front of you, instead of like dealing with a conversation with your family that, you know, you're out to dinner. And I blame the parents for that, to be honest with you.
100%. So think of this. So here are these kids, like I said, maybe 10 and 12. Mom and dad are doing it. They're doing it. Now they're going to be 16, 17, 18, 20, 24.
Yep.
How are they going to behave? How are they going
Just
to carry
like that.
themselves?
They're
Just
gonna
like
carry
what they, it's what they know. It's
Yeah.
what they know.
So,
We had the first thing we got were pagers. Remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The Motorola.
and
the Motorola
it was
pagers.
something special. It was, you know,
It was something special.
I can get a
Somebody
hold of you, I can get a hold of you.
Exactly.
But you'd have to go find a phone to call somebody back.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember, I remember later on I got a car phone in my car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The problem with that is if you make a phone call, it's like $300.
right.
Well,
It's such a rip.
And
With my Motorola brick, the big ass.
yeah,
gray
the
one,
brick.
That was 60 cents a minute when I originally got it. And if you use it by the airport, if you're driving by the airport, you get a headache and you don't get service. That was with that back then.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing weighed 20
No
pounds.
texting.
My first phone was
I still have it.
was a bag phone. It actually had a handle, and you had to carry it, and the receiver was attached to it. And then when you get to your car,
You can plug it in.
you remove the handset, you plug the box into a bracket in the trunk, and then it goes to the full 5 watts of power.
Right.
And then your actual handset now plugs into the by the console,
Right.
and now it's like a car phone that's attached to the box. But what I was going to say was that with my line of work, I'm in and out of airports all the time.
Right.
Okay. I saw family.
He's a male prostitute, if anybody's wondering.
Escort is the proper term, but
High end, middle, low.
Oh, no, it's low end. I mean, come on, look at it.
no, I'm going to say middle.
What
So
do you think Jennifer Aniston's going to hire?
Hey, you never know.
So I saw this family, mom, dad, 3 kids, sitting in the terminal, and they are so focused in on their phones, and they're like this. No one was looking around, no one was talking to anybody, and they're going someplace together as a family, and
And
no
guess
one is
what?
saying
Once
anything.
they get there, they're going to be doing the same
The same
exact
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Listen, I got 3 kids. Well, they're adult women. They don't call me. Whenever any communications, they text me.
yeah.
See, I call them because I want to hear their voice.
Yeah, but calling is so old fashioned. It's for old.
They don't
Right.
want. They tell you. I don't want to speak to you.
I
Text
want to
me.
hear my kid's voice. I want to ask them, how are you doing? How are things going? How's everything? Anything new? I don't want to sit there. That's so impersonal.
Yeah.
But as a dad, that's how they communicate with me.
Right.
And to them, it's easier. Okay, but I'm not talking about, it's not about being easy, it's about respect for one another and communicating with one another.
And
And they don't see that.
And social media, in general, has made us the most antisocial society ever. They call
Yeah,
it social media,
absolutely.
but it hasn't done anything for our ability to socialize properly and behave like
Well, Tom, look, it's profitable.
Well,
Download apps on your phone.
it is, yes.
Do this, do that, because you know what? We're going to have advertising on there. We're going to pay for advertising. We get paid based on subscriptions. So, of course, they want...
They don't realize
People are
that
isolating themselves.
kids
from
and
another.
people, they need human interaction. They need to interact
Yes.
with other humans.
Well, they don't realize that, and that's why the level...
Yeah.
That's why...
Social media has done away with that.
That's why the rate of
Right.
depression is so high with teenagers. Suicide
suicide.
rates are so high with teenagers. There are consequences. And a lot of parents don't think so. And I know a lot of parents, I've known a lot of parents in my life, where they rather their kids be texting on the phone and leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Good. Another issue too is the video games. Hey, my kid's been in the bedroom for 8 hours straight playing video games. I have freedom. I'm free to do whatever
Right.
I want. Our parents were not like that.
No,
Our parents were old school.
they were.
Yeah.
They were. But, you know, things changed.
But they were
not
old
necessarily
school,
for
but
the
they
better.
weren't like, strict.
Yes.
They realized that you needed a certain amount of freedom
Yeah.
to learn. and to interact with people and everything else.
And I think-
I mean, they weren't stupid.
I remember, listen, I remember I had a Trans Am in high school. I remember I did a bunch of smoke shows on the Fort Lauderdale Strip. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The whole car was covered in rubber,
I remember that too.
and it stunk. So the next morning, my dad wakes me up. He goes, "Hey, come here, I want to show you something." And I'm like, I'm exhausted, right? He goes, "So what's this?" And I looked at the car. I didn't notice it that night.
Right, 'cause it was dark.
I looked at it in the morning. I went, "Oh shit!" When, but he didn't beat me or anything.
No.
He's like, "Okay, now you got to buy tires.
Yeah.
Now you got to buy tires."
Right.
And I sat there and I went, "Boy, that wasn't worth it." That wasn't worth it.
Yep.
Oh, and I actually remember the cops were standing there going, "Hey, you pull over."
Yeah, you took off.
I just took off.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I had to-
So,
They didn't chase me, they just
We
let
were
me
no
go.
angels per se, but
No.
what we
Well,
did was...
there's a difference. You can not be angels, but not be destructive like a lot of
Right.
kids were.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember one night, I don't know, you might remember this. So we're dressed up. We're going out. It's Friday or Saturday night. It was by the airport. There was a car on the side of the road. It was an old couple. Remember that? I think they had a flat tire or something like that. And we stopped, and I think we changed their tire for them. Do you remember that?
I do
It
not.
was right by the runway, right? Right
Were
by
they
the
parked in
runway.
front of one of the strip joints?
And we could have said, "Hey, we're going out. We're going to work. It's not our problem." No. We did. We stopped.
Okay, but here's the thing. We knew how to change tires.
Yes, we knew how to change tires.
Yeah, that's gone now.
That's
gone.
not
We also
something
knew how to
that's...
plug tires if we had a nail in them.
That's not a
We still
life
do that.
skill that is being carried on these days, but
No, now people go, "Oh my God,
I need a
I've
new
got to call
car.
an engineer. I've got to call GM or whatever, the factory, because I have a flat."
Yeah.
Because people don't want to do anything anymore.
So what's happening is, over the generations, I think we're becoming, us included, we're becoming weaker and weaker and weaker, I think, as a species. I think the generations before us were far more robust than we were.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. When you hear my dad tell the story, he walked barefoot on gravel road to go to school, uphill both ways.
Yeah.
So, so we've softened as we evolved, and now the younger people are softening even more, and social media is not really doing them any favors. If it wasn't for my work, that I need a couple of apps for my job, I wouldn't even have, I think, a smartphone. I would just go to the nicest flip phone that I could get, stick it in my pocket, battery lasts for like 3 weeks,
Right.
make my phone calls, and if I want to get to something online, I'll just use my iPad.
And you can still text with a flip phone
Listen,
anyway.
people,
you know,
if you
we've
have to.
talked about this too on the other podcasts we do. People have broken up in relationships over the phone.
Over the
texting.
phone. Yeah, well,
Texting.
Sorry things didn't work out. I wish you well. Take care. And the other person's going, "What the hell?
yeah.
Am I out of a relationship just like that? Really? That's how it works?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And social media posting has destroyed people's lives, careers,
Oh, big time.
marriages, relationships.
Yeah.
So it's really gotten to
Why
be...
they call it social media, they should call it unsocial media.
Yeah, that's what I
Because
said.
it's really not
We've
social.
become the most antisocial people.
We're going to take a break for a split second on your end, and we'll be right back. And we're going to tell you about places we went and named them for those that may actually know South Florida. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to build a website? Our friends at Midnight Domains have all the tools you need. Domain registration, website builder, hosting, email, website security, and much more. Please visit them at www.midnightdomains.com. Again, that's www.midnightdomains.com.
And we're back.
We are back.
We're back. So, we want to talk about, too, for those that know South Florida, New South Florida, we want to mention the names of places we used to go to. If I miss anything, let me know.
Okay.
Royal Castle?
Cafe 66.
Yeah, that was a good one
Cafe
too.
66 was on the Intracoastal, so you're sitting there having cocktails. Let's say you meet a lady or whatever, you're there with your wife, or you go outside, you can walk along, look at the yachts, I mean, it was just amazing. Across the river, across the intercoastal was Riverwatch
Right.
in the Marriott Hotel. Same thing. How many times did we meet a young lady and we'd go outside, walk along the docks, look at the yachts? September's.
That was another one.
On the rooftop, right?
September's?
Yeah.
No, September's
No,
one with a big house band.
That was on the intercoastal
On Oakland
too.
Park.
Wasn't it, we had to take an elevator to go to September's, didn't we?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday's, okay.
Yesterday's.
September's had a house band. They had horn section. Remember that?
Yes.
An amazing band, amazing singers. I mean, I remember we were watching them one time standing in front of the stage, and just bottles of champagne coming up, being set out on the stage. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's clients, customers just buying it for the singer. Yesterday's was also on the water. It was another high-end place. We go up to the elevator.
Yeah, but
go
it was
upstairs.
actually affordable. And you look back at, well, at least for us anyway,
Was what?
it was affordable.
I mean,
was-
it was in line with everybody
I
else.
mean, my American Express bill was outrageous at the end of the month, but you
Yeah,
know,
it's-
small
It
blip.
wasn't, it was a high-end place, but it wasn't really, like the cocktails were not really out of line with
No, it
what
wasn't. It
everybody else
wasn't out of
was
line.
charging.
No.
No, and if you think about it, if someone goes in there and has 2 or 3 cocktails the whole night, it's not really a big deal.
No,
There was no cover charge.
no,
No.
We had VIP cards for everywhere.
we did, but our
But even when
signature,
they added cover charges in certain places,
Yeah,
remember we were at September's one time, this big guy comes up, yeah, $5, and we're like, yeah, we don't pay to get it.
No.
Remember that?
absolutely.
And he said, oh, then you're not coming in, or somebody said, all right, go get the manager. You know, we had VIP cards.
Right.
And
So-
our signature place, of course, was Christopher's.
That was another good place.
When it wasn't burnt down.
Yes. I mean, we knew the owner, John, his name was.
And we could walk from yesterday's to Christopher's. We'd walk back and forth, remember? Because yesterday's was on the water, and then
Yep.
Christopher's was a little farther
A little
in.
farther in, yeah, on the same side.
They burned down 2 or 3 times, I think, for insurance reasons.
Yeah.
That was a really, really interesting place.
Boca, G. Willikers in Boca.
Another nice place, G. Willikers, yep.
G. Willikers, we would leave there because they closed at 4. And then we would go to a place, it was a long, narrow bar that closed at 6.
Yeah.
Called Pickles.
Pickles.
Pickles, that's gone.
So we closed that, we closed down there at 6 a.m.
And then we'd find our way sometimes back this way, hitting Peter Pan's diner.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It would be like 4 a.m. and we're ordering double cheeseburger platters.
I remember one time we were out Friday night. Okay, so we went out Friday early because we like to start our night out early. As a matter of fact, we even used to go to Bennigan's and sit at the bar
Yes.
because it was too early to go to these places, right?
Right.
Too early to go to the clubs.
But we wanted to be out.
We just want to be out.
Right.
And this is a lesson for you young people that sit around your house playing video games. We were out.
We
got
were
out
out.
of the house and did stuff.
There was stuff to do.
We did stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the option to do that now. I don't know if there's the same stuff for them to do if they did go out.
Well,
I
a lot of
don't
them
know.
don't even care to. But we weren't just going to high-end places. On Sundays, we would be in our shorts, our OPs, our long shorts, T-shirts, and we would be at Tugboat Annie's.
Tugboat
an
Annie's
outside
in
bar
Dania, yeah.
On,
That
on
was
the
another
canal.
great place.
Yeah.
On Canal, they would have a steel band playing outside. I mean, very casual.
Remember Vic? Vic and I drank all their Killian's Red when they first got it in. We drank, they had 2 cases of Killian's Red, we drank it all.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
there was so much to
At the
do.
bar.
And then every
And
so
we
often
looked for things to do.
we'd go to Shooters.
Another one.
Shooters.
Another one,
yeah.
Shooters.
Also
right?
in Intracoastal in Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. We're mentioning these names for anybody that knew South Florida. Maybe will say, "Oh wow, yeah, I remember that."
The good old
place,"
days.
you know?
Because there's
I
nothing
remember
like
that.
There's really nothing
There's nothing like that.
like that anymore.
Yeah, and if there is, the price is like prohibitive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
$25 just to walk in the door. I mean, who's
Well, let's say Cafe 66, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful place on the Intracoastal, right? Let's say a husband and wife go there. They have 2 cocktails each. What are you going to spend back then? $20?
Yeah.
There's no cover charge.
Right.
You can walk around, look at the yachts and everything for $20.
Yeah.
yeah.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
A great night out for a couple, you know. And those places, like we said, don't exist. Places we went to with bands, like Riverwatch, like we said.
That's all gone.
A big band with, like we said, like I said earlier, the lead singer was Susie Carr, the lead singer of Will to Power. She then started Will to Power. We watched her for free.
Yeah, and the thing is, we were frequenting these places enough that we made some friendships with Carly.
Oh yeah, she was beautiful.
One of the bartenders.
This woman was so beautiful. I wanted to ask her out because she liked me. Remember?
Yes, I do remember that.
It took me like 2 years because I couldn't do it. She was too fine.
And by then it was too late, right?
Oh, it was too late then. Yeah.
So we knew the owner at Christopher's. We knew
The bartenders at Riverwatch. We went to their house.
yes. We knew
For parties?
we knew the manager. What was her name at Christopher's? Very attractive older woman.
No, that I don't remember.
She was always had a beautiful tan all the time, and she was very classy.
It wasn't Tammy, was it?
No, it wasn't Tammy. She was always up front, and she would greet us walking into Christopher's.
Because we also were gentlemen.
Yeah.
We were gentlemen. We were dressed nice. We were very polite to the bartenders and waitresses.
Never caused any problems.
Never caused problems. We tipped well, respectful. So, you know what? As a business owner, I owned a bar, which you guys know, which I ended up selling. Those are the kind of customers you want. Customers that are respectful, treat the staff with respect, they're friendly to everyone around them. Those are the kind of customers you want. Not people starting fights and stupidity.
And then, of course, we did get to know a few of the characters that were regulars.
Of course.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. And you know what? Those are memories that I'm never going to forget. You're not going to forget.
No, I mean, we remember their nicknames. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's going back 30 years. Yeah, the Bat, the Senator. I mean, we had names for them. They were just to us it meant
You gotta
something.
have names for everybody.
There was this one guy, we called him the Bat. He was a little guy, and he always had two guys with him, right?
Always dressed
Didn't know what that was
impeccably.
about.
Dressed impeccably every time.
No,
The finest.
So he was a drug dealer.
No, he was a kid.
No,
he was
young.
our age, but he's just. We were dressed nice, and we'd always look at him and go, "Damn, man, look at his suit. Man, why is his
Beautiful.
suit always better than ours?"
Amazing,
He was always,
amazing dresser.
Yeah, I don't think he ever talked to a woman
No.
the whole time we were there.
And the guys that were flanking him on either side were equally as well dressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Not attractive.
Yeah.
Not attractive.
Never caused any
bodyguard.
problems.
Never caused any problems with anyone.
Ever.
Bodyguards.
He just walked around is what he did.
That's it?
All he did is walk around and look around. That was his thing.
Hey, at least he was harmless. Whatever.
Yeah, no.
But you know, to the young people out there, we have memories because we created them. We could have sat in our homes, right?
We could have.
We could have been those people that we sit around, we don't do anything. We play video games, that's all we do.
I just think
That's
that
not what we did.
it's easier for the young people these days to be able to sit in their homes and do what
lot
they do.
of the time.
For us, it wasn't as easy.
They're born into this.
They are born into it, yeah.
You tell them what you did, they're like, okay, I don't understand. Because they don't know any different.
They don't. So it's not really their
It's
fault.
not really their fault. They
No.
don't know any different. And the parents don't, I did an episode on our other podcast about sports, the importance of sports, introducing sports, art, and music to children at a young age. That's something that's important too.
Yeah.
And I gave examples of what happened. My daughter got a 4-year scholarship to a top university in this country through sports. The company, she's an attorney now. She was hired by an attorney's office because they liked the fact that she played college sports. Because of the structure, the discipline.
Yes.
She's in shape. To this day, she exercises, she stays in shape. She doesn't play softball anymore, of course. But she stays in shape because now, it doesn't have to be sports. It could be art, music, anything.
Something extracurricular, basically.
You see too many children these days that their activity is coming home from school, chatting with their friend that lives 2 doors over on the computer or on their phones instead of going over there knocking on the door. Hey man, you want to go do something? Laying in bed or playing video games for 8 or 10 hours straight. And it's not healthy. We did a lot. Let's face it. We did a lot of stupid shit.
We did.
Come here,
Well,
stupid
everybody does stupid shit.
Okay, we did a lot of stupid
we
shit.
were
We
out doing
survived.
it. Yep.
We survived it.
On the street
I
playing.
raced the Hacienda Village cops one time.
Yeah.
Remember that place?
Oh yeah, that was the #1 city in the country
For traffic
and
tickets.
giving tickets.
They did
per
away with
capita,
that because
per
of that.
capita.
They went out, the city bought a white Trans Am to race people.
to lure you into racing.
To
them.
lure you to race you. Well, I'm going down the road, and here comes this Trans Am, and I already knew who he was. So, okay, so I punched it. He had a crappy turbo shit, which didn't have any power.
The 4.9.
Remember those?
The 401.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I punched mine, and he turns on the light. I go over the bridge. He stopped. He couldn't go any farther. So, but after that, they ended up getting rid of that city being. It was nothing but a trailer park.
Well, I had a Trans Am. You had a Trans Am. You had the special edition.
Yeah.
With the Hearst 4-speed.
The 400.
He had the 400. I had the 403 Oldsmobile,
Yep.
which was supposed to be an inferior motor.
Yep.
It was.
I kicked your ass.
Well, that's because the car that you had, somebody did something
did something to it. I bought it used.
Yeah.
I kicked your ass.
I think they changed the rear end on it because top end. I don't think yours was as high.
And another thing we used to do, folks, this almost sounds like something from the 50s from Happy Days. We had a group of guys with cars, Mustangs and another Trans Am and this. We would park on Fort Lauderdale Beach Strip, remember? Right there on the beach, looking at the ocean. We'd line up all our cars, and then somebody would challenge us to a race or whatever. We'd challenge them. We'd get in our cars. We would drive to a place in Dania, a location where it's a dark road.
It's not
no one
dark
there.
anymore.
And it was right, but I'm talking about when it.
Oh yeah, back then, yeah, that was the local drag
It's not
strip.
relevant, man.
That was the local
When
drag
we
strip.
did it, right? I don't give a shit about now. And it was already marked off quarter mile.
Yeah.
So we knew what the quarter mile was. And then we would drive back to the strip. We would sit on our cars, just hang around. Girls would walk by. It almost sounds like a 50s thing.
It does.
Really?
Well, because
Yeah.
It's like a 50s thing.
the street racing lasted for quite a while.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like what it is now with the little Hondas and shit like that, but
Yeah.
with the muscle cars, it continued.
No, well, with us in our era,
Into the 80s,
it was
it continued.
V8s.
Yeah.
It was roaring.
Yeah.
Right? It was roaring cars.
That was a great place. I used to race my Firebird there.
But we did it, and I think about it, and I think when you watch these old movies, the movie before Happy Days, that Happy Days was launched from, what was it, American Graffiti or whatever?
Yeah, American Grip, but that was back in the 50s.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Even though it was the 80s.
Yeah.
We were fortunate, obviously, where we live, that we experienced.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived the 80s.
We did.
We lived.
Plus the beach.
And we're now
Which
58 years old, which absolutely sounds horrible. Sounds absolutely freaking horrible. And we still have those memories.
Yeah, they're.
And you know what, kids? If you're sitting in your room playing video games for 3 or 4 or 5 years in a row, I don't think you're going to have a lot of memories from that.
Yeah.
No, they're just digital memories, unfortunately.
And we went bike riding. We went to the beach.
Yep.
Like going to the pizza parlor after a football game in band uniform, underage, and drinking beer.
Oh, let me tell you.
That was great.
I'm not proud to say this, but when I was 15, I would go to Lum's. If anybody remembers Lum's.
Oh yeah, the Ollie Burger.
I was 15. I was ordering pitchers of beer. Because the drinking age back then was 18, and they didn't ID
really
anybody.
give a shit. They didn't give a
They
shit.
didn't ID anybody.
No, nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
They didn't care.
No.
Didn't matter.
We freaked out because it was 18 when we were, 18, 19, and then they raised it to 21, and we're like, oh crap.
I know. Now
Yeah, they raised it to 21 to keep the 16-year-olds.
But they already knew us.
They moved the hurdle.
Yeah,
we had another hurdle to
But the
overcome.
places we went to, they already knew us, so I think we kind of got by, right?
Yeah.
Because we had already been there.
I mean, we'd leave school for lunch. We had an hour for lunch in high school. We'd leave there, go to a place that's like a drive-through, like a Cumberland, not a Cumberland Farms, what do you call it?
Farm stores?
Farm stores, sort of like a farm store.
Farm stores, yeah.
So we drive through, we'd get a 6-pack of the good beer, not the cheap shit.
Right.
Heineken or Beck's or whatever. One guy would run across the street to Winn-Dixie, buy some cheese, and we'd have cheese and beer for pizza. I mean, for lunch.
For lunch.
And then we'd go back to school and breathe on everybody.
Well, that's
That was great.
I remember, here's a story too I'm not too proud of, but I used to have access to a lot of weed back then.
Yeah, so did I.
Tom, I think, remembers this story. I had a pound of marijuana in the trunk of my car. A pound bag. And my girlfriend at the time was pissed off, wanted me to get rid of it, so I threw it into a field, you know the field outside Castle Park when you pull in?
Yes.
I threw it into the field.
It had seeds in it, too, right?
It was in a bag still. I threw it into the field and said, okay, fine, you happy now? So I go back to school, and one of our friends, Josh, you remember Josh? He was hilarious. Tall, a little taller than us, hilarious.
I kind of wish I could remember that.
Big pot. So he goes, dude, man, there's like, nobody's got any weed, And I said, I'd tell you where there's a pound of weed. He goes, what?
he dug it up.
So he went there. I mean, he believed me. I don't know how he believed me, but it was there. He went there and found it. So a few days later, him and, the other friend we had that passed away, I told you he's recently passed away, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony was in on that?
No, all the potheads in school were all smoking weed everywhere because it was free.
Right, yeah.
A pound goes a long way, I guess.
I get called into the principal's office because, we heard you're pushing marijuana. I'm like, no, what? No, I have nothing to do with this, which I didn't. I didn't sell it. I didn't, nothing. They went and found it. I mean, we go on and on. I used to get paddled once a day, every day to graduate. Do you remember?
Yep.
Every morning I was in French class. Some kid would come with a pass. Here you go. I have to go to the dean's office, get my wax. I used to get paddled. Not 150 years old either. I used to get whacked I don't remember how many whacks it was, every morning so I can graduate.
I never got caught, so.
Well, I had to because I wouldn't do, what do you call it?
Detention?
Detention, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, my friends and I never got caught in anything.
So my dean goes, you happy to get paddled every day? I'm like, yeah, it takes me 60 seconds. Detention's an hour. Yeah, that's math, right? I'll do the math.
And the paddle had holes in it.
It had holes in it, so...
Oh, yeah, they have.
So it could fly through the air just,
Well, we did get paddled one time. We had a substitute for PE. And, everybody's just fucking, screw you, you're just a substitute. So one of these other assholes, coaches, Bracanico, was an asshole.
I remember him.
He was an asshole. He whacked the whole class. The whole PE class.
Well, let me make another comparison here. If I'd have told our parents that I have to get whacked because I did my parents would say, well, there you go.
Yeah. And whack you on top of that.
If you hadn't have done that, you wouldn't get whacked.
Right.
Today, a parent will go, how dare you? It's a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not talking about whacking. Let's not even talk about whacking. If a teacher takes away a cell phone from a kid, give me your cell phone, you're distracting the class. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, hell no.
Did you see
hell's going to break loose.
Did you see what happened on video with a cell phone being taken away from a student?
No.
So, female teacher takes it from a student. He was 6'6". The video shows her walking down it was in a common area on the school grounds. The video shows him running up to her. She notices it, turns around, sees him. You can see she tensed up. He body slams her. She gets airborne, falls, and she's already unconscious. He gets on top of her, and he stops, and he just begins to just punch her, one punch after another. It took 3 people to get him off of her. 6'6", with prior violent history. Nice. So this is what happens when you take a cell phone away from a student.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't get to that point, the student will come and tell mom or dad, yeah, my teacher took my cell phone away from me. Oh, did you get it back? Yeah, at the end of the class, I'm going to call the principal right now.
Yeah.
They'll defend the kid.
Well, if you're talking like back in the old days, okay, and say there were cell phones back in the old days, and the teacher takes it away, and the kid goes to the parents, and the parents go, yeah, you're not supposed to have a cell phone in class, you're supposed to be learning.
Right.
Now, parents back then would take the teacher's side if the child was doing something wrong. Now the child could be doing something wrong, the parents will take the child.
Even if they've got the kid on video.
It
doesn't matter.
The cameras are
and you know what? And we need to show some respect for teachers these days, because being a teacher today is not the same as being a teacher 30 or 40 years ago.
No, well, we know somebody who was a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything else you want to, there's so many stories that we can tell.
You know, I gave up teaching back in '99.
Right.
And I can tell you that since then, things have gotten much worse.
Absolutely.
So that was what, 09, 19, so that was 24 years ago.
Right.
I gave it up, and it wasn't great then. It's horrific these days to
And,
be,
that's, and
to
you're,
be
talking
in that.
you're talking public school, right?
Correct.
Let me give you an example of a private school where my kids went. My kids went to two different ones. The one they went, not the last one they went to, that was a great school. The one they went to before that, those teachers are on pins and needles. It's a private school.
Yeah.
You know why? You piss off one of these little girls,
You lost your job.
you're losing your job.
Yep.
They will fire you.
Oh, yeah.
Because mom and dad just donated $100,000. They have the paver with their name on it.
Did they do
Okay,
that?
on the ground. Let me finish. They have their paver with the family so-and-so donated whatever level. And if their little girl is pissed off about something, there is a meeting and that teacher's days are numbered.
Well, didn't they get rid of a coach?
Yeah, but that was a separate issue, not a teacher. That was a coach where one person had money and he wanted to be the coach, so he got the coach fired so he can coach so his daughter would get playing time.
Yeah, that's...
That happens in private schools. There's no union. They don't have a union.
No.
So you know what? You pissed off my little girl, you're out of here.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
So let's also show some respect and appreciation for teachers these days for what they have to go through.
Yep. They don't get enough of it, that's for sure.
They don't get enough respect. They don't, too oftentimes don't have the parent on their side when they should have the parent on their side. You know?
No.
Not blindly defending little Johnny or whatever because my kid does no wrong. Your kid's a little shit. You know?
Yeah.
Your kid's a little pain in the ass disrupting the class, making it difficult for the teacher to do her job or his or her job. Not a little angel.
And their jobs now are not teaching in the conventional.
No, I think it's
sense.
I think it's surviving the day.
It's surviving the day, and the only teaching that's going on now is teaching them to pass a test.
Yeah, it's teaching to a test.
They're not, there's no more thinking in school, or
Right.
it's just pass a test.
Especially when they attach funding to test scores.
Right.
Yes.
We just need we need the scores up so we can get funding.
This is
Meanwhile-
the threshold.
Meanwhile, they're doing away with all classes that make kids think.
Right.
Art, music,
Art, music.
a lot of them sports. Oh, we don't have money for that.
A lot of sports,
We don't have
yeah.
money for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Tom, for coming
thanks
here.
for having me. It was nice
and
to.
we can have you again. We can
to
talk
see
about
old
other stuff
friends.
in the future too.
Absolutely.
And
Talk about all the different strip joints you want.
to your mom and your family, hey, I miss you guys. I always ask Tom how you're doing, and he always tells me what's going on, and I'm so happy
Give them the
that
latest.
you're doing well. And so we will see you folks again soon. From all of us at Political Playtime, thanks so much. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. We appreciate the support. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.